everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you've been following along, you know we're working on a early 2000s model EzGo golf cart TXT model. So far we stripped the rear body off of it and pulled the engine out of it, rebuilt it, and put everything back in there and took it for a test drive. If you haven't seen those videos, jump back and watch them. I think you'll enjoy them. Either way, we're back on that thing today. Today we're going to pull the rest of the body off of it. Then we're going to start stripping down and cleaning up the frame and painting the frame up. And hopefully, if we can get that done quick enough, which we should, there's not a whole lot of frame here. We're also going to start working on that suspension. Get that suspension in there. We got some other exciting. We got a whole bunch of new parts and pieces to put on it. But we got some new stuff coming in that we've ordered, and we're looking at replacing this body with something a lot nicer. So, yeah, let's get started on that. Thanks for tuning in. Let's go. Let's get started pulling these rivets out. Let's get the switch out of there. Hey, look, found a pen and a whole bunch of pine needles and cobwebs. All right, anyway, back to the switch. Key back in. Got the switch out of it. All right, we have plastic body plugs up in each side and the glove boxes on both sides over there as well. Let's get those pulled out. No more fighting with that. Okay, that one's out. Get that bad boy off of there. Okay. That back here. Okay, we're getting her stripped down. Got to get this piece off. One plug holding it right there in the center. Got a couple more rivets. One on this side, two over there. And that piece should come off. Then fuel tank, I got to clean it out. But then I got to get these two plastic fender pieces off. I think the rest of it, oh, and then this bumper. Got to get this plastic bumper off the back. The rest of this thing is two bolts holding that on there. Well, let's just I think that might be. But yeah, if you look in this thing, I don't know if you can see down there. Oh yeah, just look at the sediment sitting on the bottom of that thing. That all was in the carburetor, the old carburetor, which is why it ran like complete garbage. But let me get this, I'm going to get this swept up, vacked off here real quick. Let me pull those two pieces off. I'm going to vac up all this mess here, and then we'll come back and pull, see if we can't get this off so we can get that off and get the last of the plastic pieces off of here. Yeah. All right, let's get this plastic piece off, and then we can get to that rest of it here. There's riveted on right here. There's brackets that go up, and they're back underneath this panel. So I think I'm going to take the rivets out to get to them. But let's get this piece off first. Okay, it's off. Yeah, see, there's those brackets, and they're bolted from this side through that way. Okay, that was super. Oh my word. Check this out. I'm under the gas tank. Where were they driving this poor cart? All right, let me get something to clean that out. Hang on. Okay, we got that mostly cleaned up. Let's get this thing off here. Okay, it landed over there somewhere. I got my safety glasses on, we're good. There it is. Woo, crazy. Let's feel. All right, so real quick, you saw me take the tank off. There's the underside. It needs a good scrubbing. But more importantly, where do you see this? I dumped the fuel out of it, and that is what was in there. That was a clean pan when I dumped that fuel in there. Look at all the garbage. And it's amazing this thing ran at all. I knew it had some sediment in it, but good night. Anyway, I'm glad I did that before we ran this thing anymore. Or the new carb would have been just as bad as the old carb in about, I don't know, an hour's runtime? That is just insane. How do you let it get that bad? What we're going to do is we're going to wire brush out some of these rusty spots and loose paint spots. And then there's a couple spots here, like this is getting pretty bad here. So I think I'm going to see what I can do to maybe make that a little better. It's still thick on the bottom side. It's very scaled and rusted, but it's still very thick down there on the back and on the bottom. But obviously this top side is gone. So, but all of this stuff is going to get cleaned up. We're going to do that now. It's all going to get cleaned up, and then, and this is not a sponsored product, I've just seen it on other channels and I'm going to try it. It's this Skyco's Ospho. You just brush it on, let it set for 24 hours. You got to clean, you just do a real basic. It says their directions are clean off the loose rust, dirt, and you can use either wire brush or pressure washer. We're going to do both. We already did the pressure washer, but now we're going to do a wire brush on it. Get all that loose scaly stuff off, brush it on, and let it sit for 24 hours. It says heavier stuff may take an additional coating, but they said you'll know it's good and dried when you see a white powdery finish on it. So we're going to hit a whole bunch of this with that, but I'm going to get set up here and we're just going to kind of time lapse our way through. I think me wire brushing out stuff. If I find anything that I think you'd be interested in seeing, I'll let you know. So let's get to doing that. All right, we've got most of it. I'm going to go, let's say 90%, just for a number. Anyway, we got most of it done. I did. I smoked a grinder. I mean, who'd have thought a $10 Harbor Freight grinder wouldn't last forever, right? And I think I used most of that one. I don't know. We're gonna keep her though, just because, you know. Anyway. So what I got left is this front axle, but the rack and pinion, the steering arm, the shocks, all of that is getting replaced. So let's just take it all off of there. And then I'll have better access, right? Seems to make sense. Let's do that. Okay. One may end up getting cut. That was easier. brush it on, let it dry for cure for 24 hours. So here we go. Super thin. Okay, it is a brand new day. We are back on the golf cart here, and but the Ospho did do its job. I mean, it's pretty neat. I got, yeah, you can see this was all heavily corroded rust, and I did go through and hit a few spots with primer. That was all rusted, so I primed all that. But like here, I've wiped all this down now, but see, any of that white stuff is what was left over from that Ospho. So yeah, again, bought it with my own money, not sponsored or anything like that, but saw it on a couple other channels, particularly Neil Koch's Dig Drive DIY and Captain Kleeman. I saw both of them using it, so I figured I'm going to give it a shot. It seemed to work great for them. Yeah, it works good. I liked it. Very simple. I've used just a tiny little bit to do this entire golf cart. Okay, we got it all ground down here so we can weld. And I kind of looked at it and said, well, why do it right when we can do it just as a hack job? So here we go. So all I'm going to do is take this piece of 1/8 inch or 1 inch angle 1/8 inch thick. We're going to just, so what we're going to do here is take this piece of 1 inch angle, 1/8 inch wall, and we're just going to weld it down here and right along this seam in a few spots. We'll just stitch it in there for now. We're going to tack it on there, but I think that's going to give me what I need to drill a hole in here and put a rivet in. And should sure up this thing enough for what it is. I don't plan to Dukes of Hazzard this thing off any large jumps or anything. Again, she's still pretty ugly, but she's together. I don't think she's going to go anywhere. I don't think it was going to go anywhere to start with, though, so yeah. Now once that dries, we'll hit it with a little primer and a whole bunch of paint, and that'll be, you know, like it never, I mean, come on. It's like it never happened. Never happened. Anybody believe me? No, it's still ugly. But at least I have some kind of metal here to get a hole through to put a rivet in. So we're going to call that a win. Let's let this cool down. In the meantime, I'm going to... All right, how about some updates? I don't know if you remember the battery tray that was all rotted out. Yeah, this one. Sitting in here like this. Yeah, we cut that out of there and put in a new one. Nothing fancy. I just took a piece of angle, bolted it on back here underneath, and then set this piece of plate on, tack welded it to the angle iron and to the original So now you can unbolt it on this side here and this side, and you can still remove this whole tray out of here if you should need to, which I wanted to do because they make this as a replacement tray. So eventually I will probably dig one of those up and put a whole new tray in here. So this is a temporary fix, and you know what they say about temporary fixes. As I said, we got this painted up where that repair was. Steering column's been painted. Of course, it doesn't do anything because there's nothing attached to these. We're going to take these off now and see about, oh, everything's painted. Everything's got a coat of paint on it except for the rear axle. The rear axle has not been painted yet. I'm not going to paint it until I get the shocks out of the way and I get the old mounts off of there and get ready to put the new ones on. So we'll just brush it on at that point, paint up that rear axle. So for now though, let's take these front tires, one of these front tires off, and see how hard it is to get the hub assembly off. All right, let's get that off of there. See, don't feel bad. All right, we just got to get a little more aggressive here, I guess. They're starting to move. Maybe. Wow, that didn't fight me at all. Okay. Put that right inside of there. All right, we're going to get the spindle off of this. I think I'm just going to order new hubs. Look, I can get 2 brand new ones with all new seals and bearings and seals, everything, for like $52. So we're just going to go that route. Let's see if this will come off. Woohoo! There we go. That's getting replaced. It's beat. I don't know. Seems right to me. How about you? This is a 3-inch drop spindle. So, just for comparison, that's where the old one was. That's where the new one's going to be. So now we're going to put the old hub assembly back on here. We're not even going to grease it. We're just going to throw it back on here. And that way there I don't have to leave it on the lift overnight. It'll have 4 tires on it. 2 bald ones, but 4 tires. And then we're going to fly into the other side there. Okay, we got new parts and pieces. We got a new steering linkage. Let's put this bad boy on here. We can adjust it once we get it on the ground. We have it back on there. It is actually, this is a 17 down here, but I'm going to use an 11/16 simply because I have that in a thin. I don't have a 17 in a thin. And then this nut is a 16. Okay. Bye. While we have it stripped, before I get that tire back on, let's connect the rest of the package here. Let's see how this goes. I'm gonna be dropping bolts everywhere, I'm sure. There. That is not good. Yep. Oh. All right, so it is definitely not the same as the one I took off. And let me show you what's going on, but I'm gonna make it work. We're just gonna have to do some modifications. What would life be without the modifications? But as you can see, this bolt and this bolt fit into the slots fine. Problem is this one is directly across, and on my old one it was offset over to here. So you can see the hole down here. So I'm going to tighten this thing. I got all this linkage connected. I have it connected out here. So I'm going to get this thing set back on the ground and get all the weight on it. Get these couple bolts here tightened up. Then we're just going to make a mark in this plate down here for this, and we'll drill that hole out and we'll put the bolt in there instead of over here. Seems like a plan? Better be, because that's what we're doing. All right, we have this thing ready to go. So you can see I got these bolts tightened down. I got everything in here roughly in the right position for now. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this. That'll mark that steel plate underneath. I get my mark on there, then I'm going to kind of pull this stuff out of the way because I don't want to really mar this thing up. So just make sure I got a good straight line here. Okay, that's all I wanted to do because the drill bit's going to carve some of this stuff out, and I don't want to do that. So. Out there or not? Yeah, it's getting dark out there. So yeah, we're gonna call that for tonight, and I will see you guys sometime tomorrow. I don't know when, probably late. Whoops. All right. Let's get a wrench on that. All right, I'm not sure how this system went together, but I can't find any way to get nuts or a socket up through here. It's just too tight. There's not enough room. I don't know how they did it. I mean, I can't imagine they sat here with a wrench and just slowly inched out. Either way, what we're gonna do is take the brake apart here, take this whole assembly off. Well, that'll be this assembly, and then we're gonna unbolt it. And that'll give me access that I can just, if I have to at that point, I'll just cut them off. But either way, let me get this off. Yeah, I'm telling you, these things look brand new. These pads look great. Maybe I'll just all this stuff in here looks brand new. There ain't much of that pin. Ain't much of that pin left. I have a feeling that one's not going to come out willingly. I think it came out. Everything's a hammer when you need a hammer. By golly, that pin did come out. I don't know if you can see through that hole or not. Yeah, right there. All right, we made the command decision to just cut the U-bolts that held this thing on off. That's going to give me the ability to raise this thing up in the air and access to these bolts. So let's go do that side real quick. Raise her up in the air. All right, we got the brackets all off, as you saw. Now we're going to try, instead of cutting these, I'm going to try some of these extractor sockets and see if I can get those nuts out of there. It's going to be just so much easier for me, if I can. see if these will grab. If not, I'll try and knock size down. Definitely got looser. Let's try tapping her back on, try again. That's not going to work. What we got going on now? What happened here? Ratchet kind of gave out on me there. Okay, let's get a different ratchet. One down. And like I said, I don't think the brakes are in bad shape. We'll get some fresh hardware. What is that? Oh, that's the original first one that I ended up cutting off. All right, well, apparently I didn't have you on video. I had you on photo and didn't realize it, so we took a nice little snapshot of when I started here, but I've just switched from the captain side to the drinker side real quick. I got one of them out. This is the second one. Same process as the other side. They've been coming out with the extractor sockets and a lot of hammering. So we're going to just keep doing that. Launched it clean out of the garage. I knocked the bolt out of it. I didn't get the nut out. Done. D-U-N. Done. Done. Done, 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 done. Not a paid sponsor or anything, or promotion, but these extractor sockets from Harbor Freight, the Quinn ones, pretty good so far. I got their Pittsburgh ones. I don't care much for them, but the Quinn ones seem to be pretty decent. Oh, I didn't unhook the... Oh boy. And a good thing I didn't unhook it. Let's bring this out here. Well, okay, there's supposed to be a pin in it. I didn't do anything with this. There's supposed to be a pin in there, right in here. If you can even see that. Either way, there's supposed to be a pin there. And it doesn't have one, so that tells me it's pretty well rusted in there. Let's see what we can do. She moved. Okay. Don't need to unhook that one. Put that pin right, don't let me forget I put the pin right there. Right there on the lift. I'll be looking everywhere for you. You guys won't tell me. I just have to find it on my own. We are officially ready to finish cleaning this up because it's kind of greasy. And then we can paint it. Okay, we got everything painted up. It's all had a chance to dry. It is time to new brakes on. Okay, got new brakes, and I got all new hardware for it. So let's start putting this on. Oh, jeez, looking for this thing. It's right here, right in front of me. Let's get it up there. Goes here. I remembered where this was at. All right, let me go get a cotter pin for that. I got new drums as well, but I got the wrong ones. The center in them is way too small. It won't even go over these threads, let alone over the spline. So luckily my old ones are in good shape. Good enough shape they're gonna have to be, because it's what we got. Ah, man. Got a splinter in that thumb. Somewhere. I think we might have got it. Guess before I go any further, I should hook this back up though. I think that'd be a good idea. I even have the cotter pin here for it, I just didn't hook it up. Got so excited. Shouldn't there be a retainer clip right here? I didn't take one off. Sit there and retain it. All right, let me see if I can find one of these. I'll be right back. All right, well, I searched around and I didn't have an E-clip, but I do now. Quick run to town and I think I got the right size. I grabbed a couple different. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. But yeah, so this one was, that side has the E-clip on it still. This side was just kind of being held on with hopes and dreams. So let's try to do it better. All right, we got the brakes on. I got the new lift kit just loosely bolted in here, holding it in place. Let's kind of slowly tighten it down. We're going to check our measurements and all that. Do wop, dee wop. So let's bring it. 2 13/16. Man, that's perfect. Okay. We're centered in the opening here, which I kind of figured we would because of the center brace. I didn't think it could go back and forth, but wanted to make sure. Let's see if we can get some let's get some shocks in here. We got shocks all mounted, all new shocks. The new lift kit on the rear done up. It's just a lift block and some U-bolts. And new brakes put in. Kept the old drums. We know what happened there. A little issue with parts. Same on this side. Got the new lift blocks, new U-bolts, new shocks. Also added this bad boy. We got a new steering wheel. It's not a golfing cart anymore, so it doesn't need that steering wheel with the doesn't need one of those steering wheels with the place to put your card on to keep score. We also have an all-new front suspension with the exception of these. I got new wheel hubs coming. Also, I noticed that when I put these drop spindles in, I forgot to put the bushing in here, the spacer into this one. So we're going to take that back apart when we get the wheel hub, and we'll put that spacer in there. I got it on this one. I didn't put it on this one yet. Plus I don't have, where is it? Right here. This nut here, this castle nut it's not tight yet, doesn't have the cotter key in it. So like I said, we're not driving this. We don't even have a fuel tank in it yet. So, and we got still got some smooth tires. I did do some preliminary, we got to do some more adjusting on it, but it's preliminary work on getting this here, the toe on it figured out. All right, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Like I said, we went over everything we did. I think we got a long way. We're still waiting on some parts. We have to order the body kit. We have the wheels and tires. I'm not going to show you any of that yet. Not going to tell you what the body kit is or the color we picked. That's the big reveal stuff. But I did want to mention that we got the wheels and tires off a local guy. That's what he does for a living. His company's called Golf Cart Crazy. His name is Brad McHenry. Here's his card. It's not sponsored. He didn't give me anything. I paid his price, the price he was asking for the stuff we bought off of him. No special deals, no nothing like that. He's a good resource for you if you're in the Punxsutawney, PA, Jefferson County area, and he sells golf carts and you're looking for something. Go check him out. Nice guy. I think he gives pretty fair prices. I was happy with the price he gave me on the tires. Like I said, he's not sponsored. In fact, he doesn't even know I just put his information out there like that. So he has a website. It's on the card there, I believe. He's on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, so check them out if you have a chance. But either way, I appreciate everybody watching. If you're liking the build so far, please hit that thumbs up button. Also, consider subscribing if you haven't done so. Also, if you're enjoying the build, drop me a comment. Let me know. I appreciate all the comments. I read them all. Do respond to all of them. But I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. Tim, Headgear Garage. We'll see you on the next one.